What's up, ladies? Thank you for joining me for another episode of my Friday episode of Revitalized Womanhood to the Core. I am back. I'm back in my studio. Can you believe it? I've got the Junes behind me, cheering me on. Thank goodness, because I need it. Ooh, it has been a whirlwind trying to get us home. So it was so funny. We flew into LA, right? And that's where we had to do whenever you fly back into the country, wherever you do, you have to go through the customs, right? You have to go back through customs. So when we booked it originally, oh man, I'm going to have to do a whole travel episode because the tips and tricks, it's been a minute, so we forgot about this. So even though we were with Delta and it was still the next flight would have been with Delta again, you have to go through customs. So it doesn't matter what terminal Delta's at, you have to get parked at the terminal that has the customs, international customs, right? So it was so funny. Here I was just telling you about how the days of short layovers are gone, which they are. Just, I'm telling you now, take my word for it. And here we are. So we got there. And in other countries, when they see you in customs with kids or with elderly or with someone who has special needs or someone who needs extra assistance, they let you cut the line. Like they create a whole new line because they understand that you're standing there. In America, they do not do this. And maybe some people do, maybe it's just a certain person, but we have never had it happen. Rick was expecting it and I'm like, no, they don't do that here, babe. You're thinking of in other countries. They don't do that here. And sure enough, they didn't. But anyway, so we get there and we are just booking, trying to get through because now we've landed at this international terminal in LA and we have to get clear back. I mean, you take a shuttle to this other terminal usually, but the flight attendant had said, don't take the shuttle. You will be delayed. Just run, just book it. So here we are, no stroller, mind you, right? Because the airline lost my gate checked stroller. So we are booking it to try to get to our other flight, connecting flight, which here's the funny part. So we flew into LA, right? Then we were flying to Vegas. Vegas is where our car was. That's where we parked our car. We had to fly to Vegas, get in our car, then drove to San Diego. Yes, we did that. I thought to myself, gosh, at what point is it better just to rent a car and stay in LA and miss the next flight? We considered it. Believe me, if we would have missed that flight, which was close, if we would have missed that flight, that probably would have been what happened. But so anyway, we got down to San Diego and got to visit with some of our friends. It was so good to see them. And then we went down to Yuma and crossed over into Mexico there and hung out for a little bit. But we got the stomach bug in the meantime, in the from here to there's, we got the stomach bug. So it hit the baby first. And you know how it goes after that, ladies. It just works its way through. Luckily, thank the Lord, luckily, none of us had it for the drive home. So for the drive home from Yuma to St. George is like 7 hours. I mean, if you don't hit bad traffic, right? So thank goodness nobody had it for the ride home. But then boom, as soon as we got home that night, it was me and Castle. We were down. And then Hayes got it the next day and Rick has just been waiting. It's been almost annoying watching Rick try to wait for this to hit him because he and Castle and his dad left today to fly to Texas for a hog hunt. So I'm like, babe, if you're going to get this, you just better be praying to whatever got out there. You pray that you get this or else you're going to be sitting there on the flight and it's going to hit you. Luckily, I think he made it. I think he got past without having it too bad. So lucky him. Anyway, the point of all of that is I'm finally somewhat settled back. I should have had this recorded 2 days ago, but I'm finally settled back enough to get this recorded. I'm so sorry, Chad. Sorry you have to rush it through, but here we go. We'll get caught back up. We'll get back into the swing of things. So I want to talk about today. My whole objective for today's conversation is confidence versus self-confidence. They're two completely different things. But before this, I had already known that I wanted to talk about this, but I had a one-on-one call today with one of my members. I do this still. Luckily, I'm still able to. We're getting to be too big though, ladies. We're going to have to figure out something else. When I first started these, they were an hour-long one-on-ones, and now they're a half hour, and it's seriously, it's filling up my schedule so much that now I'm going to have to get creative, and we're going to have to figure something else out. And I love it. I love it. That is a problem that I am so happy to have. Believe me, that's like one of my most favorite parts of doing this is getting to just chat one-on-one with these women. They are incredible women, and everybody has a story. Everybody has something that they can offer, this gift, their uniqueness, and I love seeing it. And I love, honestly, helping them see it in themselves, because sometimes they don't realize that it's there, and we just need to work a little bit to pull it out of them. Today, I had a call with one of my beautiful members, and she's only been with me. She reminded me today that she's only been with me this will be her 4th month, and I love it. And she was just exuding, radiating positivity and good vibes, and just, I was just sitting there like, wow. And what was interesting is I really needed that today. I really, 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 and I didn't think I needed that today. I didn't think to myself, oh, I really need someone to be happy with me today. No, I just was living my life, and I was on this call with her, and she was talking to me and telling me about how the sisterhood has helped her and been such a powerful, positive influence in her life and in her self-discovery. And the whole time she's telling me this, I'm sitting here thinking, you today are exactly what I needed. You are filling my cup. She was just, like I said, she was just radiating this amazing energy, and I needed it, and I was soaking it up. I was telling her, I'm like, I am so happy to hear what you're giving me. I'm so glad that this is what you're saying, everything you're saying. This is so amazing. I just, my skin was vibrating with, I'm so happy to be hearing this kind of information. She was just so excited. Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever had that happen where you didn't necessarily feel like you needed anything, but then you met someone or talked to someone that day that just, it was like a breath of fresh air and just like a big warm hug. You know what I mean? It was just like someone squeezing you. So I want to read you a post that she posted in the sisterhood in our private community. And this was a month ago. She posted this a month ago. And it was this beautiful image, and it says, find people who make you the best version of yourself. And then she went on to say, I feel so blessed to have found this tribe. I've been part of the Revitalized Womanhood since the end of November. Since then, I have felt more confident in myself and no longer feel alone in my feelings. Prior to joining, I was taking 2 medications daily for anxiety, and now 2 months later, I do not need my meds. Our weekly meetings and chats help more than people realize. Finding women that don't judge you and love you through your pain is amazing. Thank you all for making this journey possible. When she posted that, I was in tears, because this is why I do this. This is 100% why I do this. If I could help one person feel that way, and not even to mention she's off meds, she's off medications because of the process that's happening in this community, I am blown away. It is not my work. It is her work. She's doing the work. I'm just the catalyst. I'm just the in-between, the go-between, trying to have the tools here and the people here and bring them together, right? I'm just the networking tool. I'm the catalyst, right? How many ways can you say that? This is her work. She's doing this work. She's putting this effort into herself, and it's changing her life. That's amazing. That is unbelievable. And I believe it so much and so well that that's why I do this. I put myself in this position to be busy, to be away from my kids for the time I need to be away from them, to put in all of the content that I need to put into, to, put myself out into the public to be criticized or whatever. Luckily it hasn't been too bad. So you guys are sweet and give me grace, but I'm just saying, this is amazing. This is what's happening in here. And I could not love it more. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed with all of these women. And if you have any questions about the sisterhood or about what's going on in here, please reach out to me. If you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, go do it. Just go to revitalizedwomanhood.com. There is a perfect link right on the main page right there under the 4 weeks to the fresh start. It says subscribe to the newsletter. Go subscribe to that and be the first to hear updates, any thoughts I'm having, upcoming guests, anything going on, anything Revitalized Womanhood. And so the reason for that is I've added to my newsletter at the very bottom, you can click a link and it'll take you to my calendar to schedule a one-on-one with me, like a 10-minute one-on-one with, you can ask me anything. Ask me anything about the sisterhood. Ask me, I would hope it would just be about the sisterhood. Ask me about travel, I guess. I don't care. So also, if you have not signed up for that newsletter yet, and if you're not part of our private Facebook group, why are you not? Both of these things are amazing. Go do it. Free resources, you guys. These are free resources for you to connect with other like-minded women that are doing the work as well. Anyway, I'm going to be posting in the private Facebook group. And if you read the newsletter, you've seen it just posted, and I'm talking about it on the podcast now because it's happening. I am opening up, for the first time ever, I'm opening up our weekly rally call. We call them rally calls. It's our weekly Zoom call where we meet as an entire community and talk about anything having to do with our monthly topic and book of the month that's going that month. This month is mindset, and it has been awesome. Last month was nurturing marriage, and it was so good. I think we need to come back to that, circle back to that, because man, our conversations were so good. So this month is mindset. I'm opening up our private rally call February 22nd to the public. So friends and family, please come. We would love to share with you what's going on in here so that you can get a bird's eye view, little fly on the wall, but not a fly on the wall, because I would love you to be part of the conversation. And I'm trying to get Lisa Brown of the last 2 episodes of Lisa Brown, this Tuesday's episode. And I believe it was January 26th was her episode for mindset coaching. Anyway, I'm trying to get her on that call with us so that we can just have all of this good, amazing information and conversation having to do with mindset. So if you want that link and you are not part of the Facebook group, please reach out to me in DMs on Instagram, or just go join the private Facebook group or sign up for the newsletter. I don't know. There's so many resources. There's so many. So anyhow, let's move on. That was just so good today. It was so good not to share that. It was too good to not share. So this was my topic for my leadership call that we have. We have once a week for my leaders, my squad leaders. I do a call for them, and I kind of prepare hopefully not just what's on my mind, but something that I think will help them in their role as squad leader for the teams that they have. But I was talking about our limiting beliefs, right? What is your relationship with yourself? So I want to show up with an open mind and an open heart. And that's hard to do if you aren't confident with yourself, if you're not happy in your own skin, right? So here's a perfect example. So if someone came to me and said they wanted to start a journey to become a life coach or a mentor or a coach, whatever, and start a women's community, if I wasn't confident in myself, if I didn't know the amazing, unique gifts that I have specifically only to me, that might be intimidating. That might be a trigger for me to want to criticize them or shut that down, right? Like, no, you can't do what I'm doing, right? The jealousy monster might kick in. Or like traveling, if another travel family is doing things and I look at that and I'm like, well, if I'm not comfortable and confident with what I'm doing with my family, and that what I'm doing with my family is exactly what I want to be doing and exactly how I want it to be going, right? I might be jealous, or I might not want to look at what they're doing, and I might say you would fall into the comparison game, right? You basically don't want other people to be successful. You don't want other people to be better than you, right? Doing better than you. You don't want to hear about their success because you are not comfortable and confident with yourself. You are not self-confident, right? So what is your relationship with yourself? What are the things that you're telling yourself every day? What are the thoughts you're having? What are the feelings you're having towards yourself? Is it, I'm not good enough? Is it, I can't do that as well as someone else? Is it, I'm not strong enough? Is it, I don't have the energy? Is it, I'm not organized enough? What are the thoughts? I know there are thoughts because we are women, and unfortunately that's just something for some reason that, whether it's been taught or caught, we've got it, right? They're in there. So a way to get rid of that is to be very intentional about what you're thinking, right? Okay, so we think that self-confidence is the same as confidence. It's not. It's different. So like I was saying, we have all these thoughts and feelings that are going through our minds about ourselves, and that's not the same as being confident about something. Like, let me try to make the difference. Okay, so as far as travel, I'm confident that I could talk to people about travel because I've done it so many times, right? I'm confident that I have the knowledge, I have the information to answer questions that people might have regarding how you pack, the place you're going to visit, what to expect from getting through TSA. I don't know, right? I have confidence in that because I've done it so many times and I've talked about it so much and I've lived it, that I am super confident that I could have a full-on conversation about it and never worry about it, right? Whereas self-confidence is how I view myself, is the relationship I have with myself. So yeah, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with my notes here. But so self-confidence is actually your thoughts about yourself, your relationship with yourself. Yes, got it. So what are your thoughts about yourself? I want you to stop. And I'm going to give you like 30 seconds to think about that. No, I'm not. I can't handle it. Sorry. You can do this later. What are your thoughts about yourself? You can continue to think about that. But knowing, like I said, knowing women as much as I do, we don't, as women, have great thoughts about ourselves. We just don't. We compare ourselves. We have false realities. We have limiting beliefs. We have all of these past stories that follow us, and past motivations and past influences like toxic friends or relationships that we had that treated us a certain way. So now we think that that's what we are. Or I had one of my members talk about that she's compared to someone in her family, and that's not a good thing. And so she's always kind of put that on herself as well, that because they're saying she's like this person, she takes on that person's qualities. And that's not right? She's her own person. She has her own qualities. So for whatever reason, we have these false realities. If only I were like her. I've always been this way. For whatever reason, we're stuck in these limiting beliefs and these false realities, these untruths that we let run around and cause chaos in our minds. And they really do, even if you don't know they do. So if I'm constantly saying to myself, I'm not an organized person, I'm not good at that, I'm not good at organization. So maybe then I get home and my house is all cluttered and it's just chaos. The kids' toys are everywhere. And instead of being able to handle that and control that, my thinking goes to, oh, I hate this cluttered house. I cannot stand everything is everywhere. And then look at what happens. Like it turns into, then I'm mad at the kids for leaving their stuff everywhere. Then I'm yelling at the kids to help me clean up. Then I'm snapping at my husband because he's left stuff places. Whereas if I'm thinking, I am an organized person, I have the ability to do this, I'm going to do this and get it done. Or I do have time for this. It's fine. I have time for this. It's fine. We're going to do this together. I'm going to go to my kids and be like, hey, can we maybe think of a game? Can we work on some things to keep things organized? Can we try not to let things come out of your bedroom, blow into you know what I mean? You can hear the difference. You can just hear the difference. So instead of coming at them like, ugh, I'm not an organized person, I can't deal with this, I'm coming at them like, hey, I'm an organized person. I can handle this. It's a little irritating, but I can handle this. We're going to do this. It's going to be fine, right? Hey, kids, let's do this. You can hear the difference, right? So start there. Start being intentional with the thoughts you're having in your brain. So if something comes up that you notice, like you see some woman at the store and she's really cute, just all put together. Her hair's cute, her makeup's done. She's wearing this really cute outfit. And you're like, I could never do that. I could never look like that. Stop. There you go. Boom. Put a pin in it. You just identified that limiting belief, right? You can do that. She is a human. You are a human. She is a woman. You are a woman. You can do that. I don't care if you see Jessica Simpson. I mean, that's dating myself right there, because I like a Kardashian. I don't care if you see someone that you think, or a famous athlete that's doing something that you're like, I could never do that. They're a human being. You can do anything. You can do anything. The fact that someone has done something before you is proof that you can do it too. You can do anything, right? So if you look at this person in the store that's all put together and adorable, first of all, walk up to them and say, you look adorable. Good for you. I've just helped you with your being uncomfortable with being outgoing, right? First of all, do that. I love doing that. Second of all, think to yourself, stop. I can do that. If I want to put in the effort to learn how to do makeup, learn how to do my hair better, or put in the time to actually put together an outfit, yes, you can do that. It's not impossible. So start there with identifying that thought crept into your brain about not being able to do that. We need to check in and take inventory, because these thoughts impact our lives, right? I've been talking to my ladies about doing kind of like a brain dump, right? They're like their thought download, like a brain dump, where you get all of these thoughts out. If you're faced with something you're about to be doing, like I want to apply for this job. We'll just say that as an example. I want to apply for this job. So instantly fear creeps in, right? And fear most of the time brings in bad things, and you start thinking, can I really do this job? Am I qualified for this job? What if the hours aren't going to work with my schedule? Here come all of these limiting beliefs, right? So you write them down, get them out. I actually just heard on a coaching call last night too, there is a nerve, something connected to your hand and a place in your brain that actually stimulates something that calms you or something. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm going to have to look that up. I forgot about that until just this second, or I would have had the information for you. But so something actually in the act of writing things down is like calming and helping you. That's why it's not just getting it out of your brain. It's actually physically a reaction from that nerve. So I'm going to look that up. Everybody's Googling it right now too, because I heard it last night on a coaching call and I didn't look it up, and I didn't think about it again till just now. So I'm sorry I did not have that information for you, but sounds cool, right? Anyway, so those thoughts that you have about yourself become your life, right? They come out of you, because thoughts are actions, right? Thoughts create our actions. So if I'm constantly, it's that whole philosophy of positivity. If you're a positive person, positive things naturally come to you, right? If you're an energetic person, those you like, it's like a magnet, right? You pull those things into you. Or if you're a negative person, you're constantly going to see negative in everything because that's where your mind is stuck. You're gonna see negative things. There are negative things everywhere. They are. But if you're constantly looking for things, looking for the positive things, then you will find them. They are everywhere too. So it's that whole philosophy, right? So your thoughts become your actions. So if you have bad thoughts, and you always feel yucky and weird, right? Because if you think to yourself, oh, I could never put myself together like that girl in the store that looks so put together. If you think like, I could never do that, then you're not going to be confident and be able to walk up to her and say, you look really cute today. You're not going to be able to do that because you're going to feel uncomfortable and you're going to feel weird and you're going to have these limiting beliefs that hold you back from opportunities to share your gifts, right? To be the amazing woman that I know is inside of you. So confidence is not the same as self-confidence, right? I'm going to say that so many times that you're never going to forget it. Confidence is not the same as self-confidence. Confidence is being confident in something because you've done it so many times, right? You're just confident in it. It's a skill almost. It's a skill you have, so you're confident in it. Whereas self-confidence is the relationship you have with yourself. It's the way I think about myself. And why that's important, the way that you show up for yourself, the way that you think about yourself is the way that you're going to show up for yourself, for your family, the people in your life. It depends on the way you think about yourself, right? If you've got all of these negative thoughts about yourself, it's going to come out in them. It's going to show through in them. If you're constantly bad talking yourself, do you have daughters? I mean, are they going to see this? Are they going to see you bad talking yourselves? Are they going to start thinking, oh my gosh, I don't think that about my mom, but maybe I do too. Maybe I should think that about myself too, right? You have to think about these things. So if you have a lot of negative self-talk and limiting beliefs, you're not seeing all of your good, which are the truths, right? There's so many good things about you, so many positive things about you. You need to see that. Then that's going to play out in your life. That's going to hold you back, right? If you're constantly negative, it's going to hold you back from, like I said, being able to tell someone else congratulations in their success because you're uncomfortable with your own success, right? Or lack thereof. So you're not confident to help someone else, or you're not, you're not willing to be a leader in anything because why would I? What do I have to share, right? Type stuff. So we've got to retrain our thoughts. So you have to take inventory. You have to be intentional. And it's a practice, right? It's like anything. It's a practice. You don't just wake up one day and you're like, I love myself. It takes a long time I had my ladies actually ask me in my leadership call how I have self-confidence. Excuse me. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. She said, did you have parents that were, did you have parents that were constantly telling you can do anything? You're amazing. You're wonderful. And I'm like, no, my parents didn't have time to do that. They had 8 kids. They didn't have time to sit and take me, Gina. And I was never home. Honestly, I was a wanderer. I was independent. I was the kind of person that needed to figure things out on my own. And so I learned the hard way a lot. I touched the stove a lot. And that's probably where I got it, is I learned so many different ways. I failed. I did something wrong. I figured out I didn't like things, right? I've done it and I figured it out that I don't like it. So I do it a different way. So I think maybe that's it. I don't know. But for whatever reason, it's not just inherently in us. It's not just there. It's a practice, right? It has to be, it's a muscle that needs to be flexed. It's a muscle that needs to be worked out to be good at it, to have it be strong, right? So let's break out of the vicious cycle, right? The vicious cycle of self-doubt, limiting beliefs, negative self-talk, because that just turns into actions in our lives as negative actions in our lives. So let's turn that around and get those thoughts out and turn them into a positive narrative, right? Let's flip the narrative. Doesn't mean that we think we're great at what we do, but it means that we trust ourselves to be able to handle it. So in that situation, like just because I feel like let me think about this. Okay, just because I feel like, yes, I am a confident person, I'm a self-confident person, right? That doesn't mean I don't have bad days. That doesn't mean that I don't think, like today when I started this call, I didn't realize that I needed that boost from my member so much, her talking about how positive things have been for her. And it was like a warm, cozy hug for me. And I was like, wow, I need that too. I need to remember that too. And if I didn't have that self-confidence in me, it doesn't mean that I'm constantly just going through the day happy and my life is perfect and my marriage is perfect. It's knowing that I have the skills to get myself out of the negative talk. I have the skills to know that they're just thoughts that I'm doing to myself, right? I can control my thoughts and saying, okay, my husband and I are in a funk right now. That doesn't mean I'm unlovable. That doesn't mean I'm a bad person. That doesn't mean I'm a horrible wife. It means that right now we're just in a weird spot. I trust myself to handle it. And I know what I need to do to get out of it, right? I know what I need to do to get out of the funk. So let's work on that, right? So if I have gotten the message through to you, let's work on that. Stop with the negative self-talk. Stop with that. We have to start first with, we're working on mindset right now this month. And I was thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? Mindset is basically the foundation of everything. It is the foundation of everything. But then I started looking into self-confidence. And I was like, no, I think mindset and self-confidence, I don't know which one needs to come first, the chicken or the egg, because I think it's self-confidence. I think those are both the two legs that you need to stand on to create that beautiful tree pose in yoga, right? You need to have your foundation strong to be able to be an amazing woman and do the amazing things that you need to do in your life, right? So it got me thinking. So I'm really excited for what's coming next on that. Maybe a workbook, maybe a course, maybe something's coming from this. Something's coming from this. Don't you worry. There's a lot of things coming from this. I am so grateful for you for spending your time with me for another episode, Friday episode of To the Core. Don't forget, February 22nd, we're opening that rally call up to friends and family. And what else? Like always, share this message, please. There are plenty of women, I know you know, plenty of women out there that could use this message, could use this community, and do the amazing things like I started the episode with for my member, that she's telling us all the amazing things, that the positivity this has had and the effect it's had in her life and in her perspective. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.